Hey, it's John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and it's The Entrepreneurial You, the show for dedicated and passionate Caribbean entrepreneurs seeking daily inspiration, brought to you by author, speaker, and award-winning entrepreneur Heneka Watkis-Porter. You must be prepared to ignite.
There's 3 specific stages that we take them through, which is position. So get your positioning right. Make sure you're set up so that you're irresistible to your ideal client. Step number 2 is connect. So go out and connect with people. And, that's not just direct connections. That's one piece of the puzzle. It's also about writing content. It's also about positioning yourself as an authority, finding JVs, affiliates, connecting with media. And then the 3rd step is scale. So how do you take this manual process and you grow it so that you can actually scale your business using it? Because one of the big things for me is I don't just want to do one-on-one calls all the time because you can't scale that. I want to create a system that I can bring a team in, that they can jump into the system and they can get calls booked. And, on average, my team and myself, we're doing between 10 and 15 sales calls a week.
Hi, this is Heneka. I'm so glad you took the time to stop by today. In Jamaican parlance, Wagwan. I'm glad to say a dial. This episode is sponsored by HenekaWatkis-Porter.com as well as the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Now, on HenekaWatkis-Porter.com, you can visit us for blogs, resources, books, online podcast courses, podcasts, and more. If you are new to the Entrepreneurial You podcast, be sure to check out past episodes with guests such as John Lee Dumas, Patrice Washington, Seth Godin, Richard Branson, Amy Porterfield, and a host of other game changers.
We needed to raise capital, but our experience with local financial institutions was that they were cautious and slow to act, and interest rates were far too high. We had real concerns about financing our business through outside equity investors and the possibility of interference. Could we get a fair valuation for our business? We had our own ideas about the business and its value. Should I go the traditional route of bank financing, or should I try the Jamaica Stock Exchange? So we made a call and experienced transformation of our business through conversations. I'm John Mafood, CEO of Jamaican Teas, and we're listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Give us a call today at 876-967-3271 to begin your transformation through conversation. We want to see your company listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
And now, here's today's episode. LinkedIn is increasingly becoming a very strong place for companies to develop their talent plans, their recruitment plans, and so there are ways in which we can track some of the momentum there, according to Jeff Weiner. Greetings, my peak performer. I trust you're doing great. It is episode 170 of the Entrepreneurial You podcast. I'm Heneka Watkis-Porter. Today's episode is with Matthew Clark, and Matthew is the founder of the Virtual Edge and co-creator of the Rainmaker System, an online marketing system that helps entrepreneurs get 2 to 5 high-value leads per day from LinkedIn without paying for ads. Matthew, who has shared stage with the likes of Dr. Phill, JT Foxx, Michael Douglas, and many more, is the author of The Proven Path, the Automation Playbook, and the Automated Income Systems. So I'm truly excited to talk with Matthew about leveraging LinkedIn for high-value leads. Welcome, Matthew.
Thank you so much for having me on the call. I'm really excited about today's interview.
Absolutely. Before we start, though, what, if anything, do you know about Jamaica?
Bob Marley comes from there. Cool Runnings, of course. We can do the song.
Okay.
I was also just doing a little bit of homework and some really cool stuff, and I found some amazing, really interesting facts as well. It actually blew my mind. And I think one of my favorite ones is that, the Ian Fleming, who's the writer of James Bond, right? He actually designed his dream home. He had it built in Jamaica, okay, and he actually called it GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And actually in Jamaica, he wrote 10 of his world-renowned James Bond spy thrillers.
We've passed the exam with flying colors. Let's go to graduation, right? Okay.
Yeah, let's go to graduation.
Yes. Let's talk now about leveraging LinkedIn for high value leads. Now, talk to me about your experience with your company. First of all, how you are helping persons to generate these leads and make money.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. And, I think the key thing to realize is that, I don't actually come from a marketing background. My background is actually door-to-door sales. I did that since I was 18 when I left school. And, so for me, I'm not one of those people who've always grown up, using computers and diving deep into marketing and understanding it. I'm not the greatest on technology. For me, it's all about how do I get in front of my ideal client and how do I start having a conversation with them? And so, that's pretty much how we built the system. Whereas how can we get people set up in a way where we can, attract the ideal clients to you, but then also go out and find them? So it's very, very simple for me is that we show entrepreneurs how to get 2 to 5 high value leads per day from LinkedIn without paying for ads. And there's 3 specific stages that we take them through, which is position. So get your positioning right. Make sure you're set up so that you're irresistible to your ideal client. Step number 2 is connect. So go out and connect with people. And, that's not just direct connections. That's one piece of the puzzle. It's also about writing content. It's also about positioning yourself as an authority, finding JVs, affiliates, connecting with media. And then the third step is scale. So how do you take this manual process and you grow it so that you can actually scale your business using it? Because one of the big things for me is I don't just want to do one-on-one calls all the time because you can't scale that. Right?
Absolutely.
I want to create a system. And that's a big thing, right? For me, I want to create a system that I can bring a team in, that they can jump into the system and they can get calls booked. And, on average, my team and myself, we're doing between 10 and 15 sales calls a week. So we actually started the company about 6 years ago. And what happened was that I had a business, a Samsung dealership, and we were selling PABX, like switchboard telephone systems, copiers and CCTV. And what happened was that, we built this business up really big. I had, 60 staff members. We were doing, high 7 figures. And what I really wanted, I looked at it and I just decided I don't want to do this anymore. I'm working myself to the bone. I wasn't really helping people. We were making lots of money, don't get me wrong. And I like the money side of things, but we weren't really helping people. And I just really felt like it was something that was eating my soul. So I decided to move out. And what I did was that I went searching. I realized what I wanted to do really was to create a laptop lifestyle, work from anywhere in the world, earn multiple currencies, travel all the time, and have it work on autopilot. So I started going on and I heard that, the internet is the way to do this and marketing is the way to do this. And so I started attending these conferences and we had a lot of American speakers come out to South Africa and then, they were talking about how to be successful and how to grow your business and wealth and all this stuff. And I was actually looking less at what they were saying and more at what they were doing. And what I noticed was that a lot of these guys, they had the lifestyle I wanted. They looked like they were making the money that I wanted to make. And they really looked like they were helping people. But what I noticed above all that was that they were using a system called Infusionsoft, most of them.
Right.
And as I started diving deeper into this, I realized, well, hey, here's a system that I can – that actually automates a lot of the processes, that does a lot of things that I used to have salespeople and technical and staff doing. And I can have a system doing it at a fraction of the price without the people. And I was like, I'm sold. I want to do this. So I went and I got myself certified and I started helping people grow. But then a couple of years down the line, and we had many iterations and many different versions of products and services that we had. But about 2 years ago, or actually about 3 years ago, we realized that, okay, cool, we can automate people's businesses, but now the big thing is they still need leads. How do we get these leads coming in? And we went down the route of Facebook, and I'm not technical, so that wasn't an easy thing for me. I'm also not great on social either, so that wasn't easy for me. Same thing with Google, same thing with Google Ads. And actually a friend reached out to me and we just got a chat and she said, I'm doing this stuff with LinkedIn and it's super easy. Why don't you give these few things a try? And I did. And I started getting leads. I started getting clients. And then I was like, well, I'm pretty sure other people need to get this as well. And we started working with other people, helping them grow that. And then one thing led to another. We kind of switched the entire business from doing Infusionsoft, which was, it was tough, it was complicated, to just helping people get more leads. And all of a sudden the results grew. It was easier to get leads. It was easier to get results, and people were really loving it.
As they say, the rest is history, right?
Yeah. So in the last 2 years, I mean, since we went all in on LinkedIn, we've been able to help, 1,500 clients 1,500 entrepreneurs in 18 countries grow their businesses using the strategy. So, been really grateful to be able to help people do that.
Okay, so awesome sauce, and it sounds really good. And you're doing that from South Africa, and
Absolutely.
and you're getting, as you say, clients from all over the world. Now, in your experience, how does LinkedIn works for business?
Absolutely right. So very simple. The big thing is most people think that LinkedIn is just a recruitment platform, right? And they use it for CVs, and they use it for headhunting, and they use it to hire and bring on new people. But in actual fact, it's the world's largest business network, right? The largest professional network. So people are on there and they're ready to do business. So the first step that you need to do is you need to get laser focused on who is your ideal client. Who do you want to target? Now, most people are going out there. When I ask them the question, they tell me, anyone that can pay me money, okay, which is obviously not a great answer. But what happens is that you want to get laser focused on your ideal client. So we use what we call the power of one. Solve one problem for one ideal client, and then go look for more of those. And you want to go deep into understanding who this person is. What are their big pains and frustrations? What are the fears, the things that keep them up at night? What are their goals and desires and their dreams and aspirations? And then what you do is we create what we call a pickup line. And this is all about, this tells people how to work with you before they even talk to you. Let me give you an example of this. So normally what people will have in their headline of LinkedIn is that they'll have, CEO or founder or coach, author, speaker, or whatever it is, right? But it's such a missed opportunity. So what I've got there is I help coaches, consultants, and advisors get 2 to 5 high value leads per day from LinkedIn without paying for ads.
Oh,
and
so your value proposition is right there up front.
Boom. Exactly. People know how to work with me before they talk to me. And so what that does is that when my profile comes up, that's the first thing people see, and they're like, okay, I get it. And that brings more views, it brings more connections, and it brings more messages. But then you've got to set your profile up for conversions. Now, there's 10 things that you need to do on your profile, but I'll cover the top 3, which are the most important.
You're actually reading my mind, because that was my next question to you in terms of how do we get the most of our from our profile. So go right into it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Cool. We're on the same wavelength here.
Yes.
So the top 3 are the most important. Have a banner that brands you and that positions you as the expert. That's that background banner. Most people have just got it blank, right? So put something up that is going to brand you, that's going to speak to your ideal client, that maybe will even show them a desired outcome, right? And have your contact details on there with a bold slogan on top. Very simple. Second thing is have a professional image up. One with you smiling, dressing professional, not something like with your cat or with your kids or something like that. Unless you're a vet, then it makes sense, But, have a professional image up. And then the last thing is the pickup line. So make sure that you don't have CEO or founder or something like that. Put your pickup line. And it's very simple. Here's the formula for it. I help whoever your ideal client is achieve whatever results you help them achieve. You need to have a measurable metric and a time frame through whatever your system or methodology is. Those are the 3 most important things. And, just by getting that right, you'll have 21 times more views and 36 times more messages.
Absolutely. And it seems obviously been working for you. Talk to us, Matthew, about investing in LinkedIn Premium.
Oh, yeah, it's a must, without a doubt. I mean, if you are serious about growing your business, it is the easiest and cheapest way to find high quality leads. You're going to pay, I think it's like $70 or $75 or something a month, right? But if you had to go and spend $75 and you can literally pull up lists of hundreds, if not thousands of your ideal clients. And I'm talking about the exact person that you're looking for. If you had to go spend $75 on Facebook ads or on Google ads or on Instagram or whatever it is, it's going to take you a lot longer to be able to reach those people, you won't get near the amount of numbers, near the amount of list. And it's just and you need a hell of a lot more to make it work. You need a funnel to make it work. So it's a must.
For those who have not yet invested in it, what it is that separates the free profile from the premium?
So the biggest thing is your ability to connect with people. So on the free profile, I think you can do about 30 connections in a month, and that's it. But, if you're just starting out and, just a couple of connections a month, that's absolutely cool. But if you really want to grow it, you want to be able to connect with a lot more. I mean, some of the strategies that we're taking people through, we're showing them, we're sending connection requests up to, 1,500 connection requests in a month. So it sounds like a lot in a month, but it's only 60 a day. It takes less than 30 minutes.
And in terms of the algorithm, so we know that all of these social media platforms, they work with algorithm, and one day you think you figure it out and the next minute you have no idea what's going on. How does that work with LinkedIn?
So it's very simple with LinkedIn, right? They don't want you to become another Facebook. They don't want you to spam people. So they want you to go and build connections because it's a professional network. So keep it reasonable. If you're connecting with people, send, between 30 and 60 connections a day. Some people go on there and they do like 100 connections and then their profile gets blocked. Think about it as quality over quantity. Go in with that mindset. Go in with the mindset of, look, I'm actually going to go in and build real relationships with people. And that's when you're going to see the magic.
Right. And how does your posting, your messaging differs from, for example, comparing that again to Facebook?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Great question. And so how it differs is very simple. LinkedIn, you have direct conversations with people. So if you're connecting with somebody, you want to have a direct conversation with them. You got to remember, people are there in the mindset to do business. Facebook, they socialize, right? It's a social network versus a professional network. And so you think about the difference in that. So social is, people are sharing pictures of their kids, of their family, of their pets, of their travel, whereas LinkedIn is business. And the mindset around it is business. And so when you're connecting with people, have that direct conversation because they'd appreciate it. And so in terms of your content that you put out and your posts and that, you want to make it about the problems that you help people solve. Make it about things that can actually move people forward, that solves their big problem. And that's also why you've got to be so specific about who you're targeting, because if you try be everything to everybody, your message is just not going to resonate with anyone.
Right. You can't be all things to all people, right?
100%.
I love how you at one point talked about, that one problem for that one ideal client, like you finding your avatar. Now, I've asked some questions, Matt, and I'm going to allow you to share just out of your share experience of using LinkedIn to get high value leads. Just share on some of the things that we have not yet talked about so that you can inform our listeners, our peak performer community.
The biggest thing is that you want to go in with clarity, right? Now, if you're going onto LinkedIn, the mindset is around, it's always about consistency, okay? And I think like anything really, you've got to be consistent in what you're doing. So you want to set your goal of what you want to achieve. So as an example, if you wanted to get, 3 new clients this month, you need to know your numbers. So in order for you to get 3 new clients, how many conversations do you need to have? So you can actually work your way backwards. And you can say, well, if you have a 20% conversion rate, so that's 1 in 5, it means you're going to need to have 15 conversations to bring on 3 clients. Now, how many connections do you need to have to get to those conversations? And let's say you have a 10% connection rate. So you need to have 150 connections to get to those 15 clients. You then want to work out day by day, how many connections do you need to do a day to get to that? And the key to all of this is once you know those numbers, it's about being consistent with your message, being consistent in connecting with people. And the most important thing is to focus on building relationships. So don't just go in to try and spam people, but actually go in caring about the people you're talking to. Go in looking to build relationship and having conversations. Open up conversations. Don't try and close sales. I think that's the biggest mindset shift around LinkedIn.
Open conversations, don't close sales. I like that too. You're making some really nice punchline here, Matthew.
Oh, I love it.
I love it too. And you talked about, you put positioning, connecting, and scaling, those three things that we need to be thinking about when we're using LinkedIn. In a short time, you have indeed said a lot, and I am sure that our community wants to know more from you. But that final piece of advice that you want to give, I mean, you just talked about, opening conversations and not closing, sales and stuff like that. But that final piece of advice, and also how may persons get in touch with you, to connect, to learn more, to perhaps do business with you.
Definitely. So the final piece of advice is focus. Go focus on that one ideal client. And this is the most difficult thing that we see with people is that, they say, okay, well, if I only focus on these guys, what about everyone else? Right? Well, that one niche that you focus on, there's hundreds, if not thousands of people in that niche. So it's definitely big enough. So choose one and focus on one. That I would say is the biggest advice on going on LinkedIn, because if you do that, you can create the message, you can set your profile up, you can connect with them, you can create content that resonates with them. That is the biggest thing. Get that focus and go into one ideal client. In terms of connecting with me and finding out more, I think the best thing to do, obviously, is LinkedIn. Right?
I'm sure.
Obviously. Right. I had to say it, though, And so you look for Matt Clark on LinkedIn. And also just the thing, if you're going to connect with me, please send a message. Let me know that you heard me on Heneka's show. And I can let Heneka know that, that there's some good traction coming from there as well. Because we're also going to share this with our people as well, Heneka.
Absolutely. In South Africa and all over, right?
All over the world. We have clients in 18 countries.
Absolutely. That's so great. Thank you so much for your time, Matthew. It's been a great time talking with you. And I know that you had provided value. I found value in it, and I'm sure the community does as well. So thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. And there's one last thing. Would you like?
Sure, go ahead.
Would you like me to share a gift?
Yes.
with your listeners?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, awesome. So earlier we spoke about the 3 things that they can do to start setting their profile up right. We've created something called the 20-minute profile makeover. And you can actually go and download that for free on my website. So it's www.thevirtualedge.com. You can go and download that for free, and it'll actually take you step by step on setting your profile up the correct way.
20-minute profile makeover, thevirtualedge.com, right?
Absolutely. And then even after that, there's a 47-minute training that'll take them through even further on what to do. Now, there's no sales pitch or anything like that, because I believe, my belief is that, come and take a look at what we do and how we do it. And if you like it, book a call and we can talk.
All right. Thank you so much again, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew Clark. You have shared a lot with us, and I know that, it's so much value. Thank you so much. Thank you to my peak performer for tuning in to this episode with Matthew Clark. I look forward to connecting with you next week. Of course, in the meantime, you know that the Kindle version of my latest book, Podcast Power, the quick start guide to launching and leveling up your brand, is available for purchase on Amazon. Of course, it's in print as well. But if you're a Kindle person, the Kindle version is there. Just go to Amazon.com or HenekaWatkis-Porter.com and you will find it right there. And it's a book that teaches why you need to start a podcast now, how to start one, how to find guests, how to make money, how to leverage it to build your brand, and so much more. So go forward and go get it, so that you can elevate your brand. As I continue for this week, I want to share a point of hope. And the point of hope for this week is that salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to mankind by which we must be saved. And that's according to Acts 4, verse 12. So that's it. Meditate on it, reflect on it, and walk good. Thank you so much.